Attention campers, lunch has been cancelled today due to lack of hustle. Deal with it.
Hi everyone and welcome to Priority Holder, and today we'll be playing Jeskai Knights in the Explorer format. Now, the reason we can play so many colors is our lands package. Unclaimed Territory, Secluded Courtyard, Cavern of Souls, all let us pick a creature type and spend mana of any color for that type. And for the Knight tribe we have the bonus of Tournament Grounds as well, so that's like 16 lands that can like easily cast all of our spells, so it makes the mana really good and we get really creative in what we put inside the deck. Now our main plan is using 1 mana aggressive creatures backed up by lords to try and run them over. I do have a budget version of this deck that's without the rare components since most of these lands are available, but yeah, this is like the non-budget version right here, and we get the Fervent Champions. It's like give us more 1-drops and like really strong 1-drops as well, and stuff like Worthy Knight, which allows us to go wide and diversify a little bit, and Werefox Bodyguard, which allows us to snipe problematic creatures along the way. So, but yeah, that's what we have going on. We want to aggro them out with knights and lords, so let's jump into some games. Alright, decent hand. Would love to have a 1-drop. That's like the main vulnerability. Potential though. Alright, Kumena's Speaker from the opponent. And we happen to draw the one land in the whole deck that can't cast a Benalish Marshal. So that's a little bit rough. We'll see if we can deal with it. Okay, Branch Walker from the opponent. Appears we are facing Merfolk. The Silvergill Adept on top. And yeah, getting a system message real quick. Gonna throw out a Worthy Knight and hope to just sort of try and catch back up because we're already on the back foot with the Merfolk's start. Block didn't seem like quite the right move here. Silvergill Adept, Jadeite Ranger. So their list of Merfolk is a little bit different than mine. It has a lot more Explorer built into it. Awkwardly, still don't have any 1-drops, but we can at least start generating tokens off Worthy Knight, and definitely got to hold back right now. Alright, Mistbinder from the opponent, that's bad news. They send in. I'm trying to figure out what to do. Decide it's best to just try and prolong the game. We have so many good cards to play, and it could have been real ugly there if they had something, but fortunately they didn't. But they still have a decent amount of power on board. We don't have much going on. There was an argument to just taking the damage or chumping with the human token. If we get hit with Essence Scatter, that's pretty rough because we were hoping to get some more human tokens, so we have to hold back, and hopefully we can just not take a ton of damage this turn. Right, Jadeite Ranger from the opponent. Spell Pierce, and they wisely put it in the graveyard because they haven't seen anything from us to indicate we have non-creatures, and they are correct in that assumption. Alright, so taking 3, but we at least hold off the Mistbinder. Now we have choices. You know, we could Werefox Bodyguard to like grab the Lord, or we can try and double spell this turn. Ultimately, I decide I think it's safer for us to play Veteran plus Fervent Champion. It just if Veteran stays around, it makes their attacks pretty rough. So we're hoping it's okay, but and then Otawara gets channeled, opens up some attacks from the opponent, and yeah, we gotta do something right, or else we're gonna die right now. So we're gonna chump one of them, go down to 3, and it's looking pretty bad. Luckily we draw another 1-drop, so we can do a similar play as the last turn, go Veteran plus 1-drop, and just hope that carries us, because we can at least set up some blocks right here if the opponent tries to send in. So they don't attack, and honestly I think they should have just jammed right there. We would, anyway, it's hard to say without knowing the contents of their hand, but now it seems like a good time to hold up Werefox Bodyguard. Okay, here comes Cutthroat. Now, it is risky because they've already shown us Essence Scatter, so letting him draw a card before we cast Werefox Bodyguard is a gamble. All right, and the opponent doesn't attack, so we're getting some time. So we're gonna eat their lord right now. The opponent must have suspected something was going on. Now once again, Den of the Bugbear is sort of hurting us right here because we can't double spell, but Benalish Marshal should do some great work and really deter some attacks right there. So now we have multiple lord effects stacking up. If say they have another Otawara and could bounce Werefox Bodyguard, it could get really ugly. And the reason I've been a little worried is like I keep thinking they're gonna spew off like Collected Company. So drawing Werefox Bodyguard means that we can actually double spell if we want this turn. And I decided just to do like just a one attack. The opponent chooses to block. And honestly, I think that was a no block situation from them because they're trying to swarm us, and so I think them keeping an attacker back or keeping a potential attacker there to try and go around all of our creatures would have been probably the better choice. So I'm not sure I agree with that block. So we're gonna go ahead and just keep adding to the board, and it's looking pretty decent for us now. But once again, we're like on the cusp of dying, so we have to be very careful. At the same time, not be too slow as to give them time to figure out a way to kill us. So we're sending 3 attackers in now just to try and get the job done. Fervent Champions. So the opponent's giving us the good game, and I mean they're not dead yet, and we're not dead yet. So we're gonna hang on and hold up the land for bluffing. It is nice that we could play it and activate Den of the Bugbear though, so. The opponent has 3 cards in hand. We already know they have some flash creatures with Brineborn Cutthroat. So I almost hit attack all here, but they've been passing priority, and it'd be so easy to lose from this position if we're not careful. So decide just to make the same attack as last time, because this is gonna force them to do something and like start chumping. We're going to force the issue. Now once again, maybe this was a turn to attack all, but I'm worried about like Collected Company. Alright, so it's another Cutthroat. So okay, and they ended up packing it in. So that's a nice win, sort of on the edge of our seat, but yeah, go ahead and Protocol Knight the like button, comment and subscribe. Supports the channel and helps you know what the people want. And we're into the next game already. This hand looks way better than the last one with some 1-drop creatures, so we'll see how it goes. Turn 1 Fabled Passage from the opponent. Cavern of Souls is nice. That's a new card we're able to leverage in these heavy creature decks. So we'll go ahead and start with Venerable Knight. Hold the Haster back for next turn. Urban Utopia. Now, seeing that play makes me surprised they don't have a Yorion companion, because it seems like the kind of card you play with that. Now, I just go ahead and throw the Bodyguard out there. Honestly, I'm not sure, because it just protected the only creature that was out there. It might have been better to protect the Fervent Champion. It's hard to say, but it's just something to pay attention to, like the sequencing here. Okay, Leyline Binding is going to gobble something up. But opponent's paying 3 mana for it. They can't be happy about that. Alright. So, we have a fairly strong turn. The reason I'm hesitating here is because we can just jam Imodane's Recruiter. But I feel like it's better to hold off on that. Just for some surprise explosive damage for the kill next turn, potentially. So you're going to go ahead and just double spell here. And we're going to get to deal a good amount of damage. We're going to ding them for 6 here. And opponent falls to 6. So this is what I really like about this deck, is it puts people under immense pressure from the get-go. Opponents... Alright, so Skyclave Apparition. So that's going to grab our Lord, shrinking all our creatures, but that is not going to be enough, because we just need to slam Imodane's Recruiter, and 3 of our creatures are getting through, and that's going to be lethal. So here comes Imodane's Recruiter. Just an impressive card, and really can like sort of shock people with its explosive damage output. So yeah, lock up that win and move on to the next one. Now this hand is rough. Like, the Worthy Knights could be good depending on the matchup, but once again, no 1-drops. I mean, we're playing 16 of them for a reason, is to start with them in our opening hand. So, blue-green land from the opponent, Worthy Knight, pass. Let's see what we can draw. Mountain, up the Beanstalk. Okay, so that indicates some sort of value deck. Unclaimed Territory. Just gonna go play a tap land and play another Worthy Knight. Setting up for a really strong turn 4 where we can hopefully trigger both of them. He plays a red land. And Brotherhood's End that's actually pretty backbreaking there, especially us drawing a land, because now we're like completely out of action. I want to hold on Werefox Bodyguard in case they have a creature target, so I make the more mana inefficient play of playing Veteran. Cracks Fabled Passage. Beanstalk Giant, okay. So to me this usually indicates like an adventures deck when I see Beanstalk Giant. So we're just gonna hit them with Den of the Bugbear here. It seems we already know they have sweepers in there, so we want to put them under pressure without overextending. So that was the rationale for that last turn. Now that they have mana open, I'm less inclined to use Den. Prismari Command cuts down our Lord, unfortunately. And, what do we do? I'm going to go ahead and play out the 1-drops. And playing out our land is going to at least give us the option to flash in Werefox Bodyguard, depending on what they do. So, we'll have to see. Genesis Ultimatum is pretty bad. They can free cast some stuff off the top, basically put any number of permanent cards into play. And they sort of whiff. They only hit 2 lands. I mean, they draw the rest of them, so it's like not a complete loss, but I'm sure they were hoping to put some like Beanstalk Giants into play or something like that. So that's fortunate for us. So we're gonna fire up Den. They even had to discard the hand size. And we're gonna attack in and see what we can do, but the opponent has Bone Crusher Giant. So this really does seem like an Adventures style deck. But we knock them to 6, and you see me hesitating right here with Dauntless Bodyguard, because we know they have Wraths, but also if they play a blocker, that could help them. So decide just to go for it, like make them have it, make them have something. And they do have something. Ugin the Spirit Dragon, which draws them a card from Beanstalk. So, and the worst part about it is they only have to spend 1 loyalty to sweep our whole team. I'm feeling pretty bad at this point. Like, Imodane's Recruiter's pretty nice. I don't just slam the adventure portion here because Ugin can just -0 to knock them out. But Imodane's Recruiter plus another creature could grant haste to the other creatures, so that's why I'm holding on to it here. Then they go ahead and play Chimil the Inner Sun, which is going to start giving a free Discover 5 at the end of each turn. That doesn't feel great. I contemplated throwing out Werefox Bodyguard there, just to get another creature on the board. Or, sorry, I wanted to see what they hit first. And yeah, good thing we waited. Bone Crusher Giant, so we're going to gobble that up and try and hopefully cobble together like a sneaky win next turn, but opponent has another Bone Crusher Giant. Now thankfully we have 2 mana up, so what we're going to do is sacrifice the Werefox Bodyguard to fizzle the Bone Crusher. And this is agonizing. We have 2 recruiters, but we can only cast 1. And with the Ugin still looming, and so I want to keep them secrets. Like, I'm hesitant to use the adventure because I want to surprise the opponent, but I figured we had to do something, so I go ahead and make the Knights, and surprisingly they don't minus Ugin here. They just, I mean, granted, they had to kill us at some point, but I was shocked to see them not just sweep our tokens away. So opponent plays another Bone Crusher and cultivates, and we're just hoping for like a non-relevant hit, and hitting a Planeswalker here is amazing because it doesn't do anything for them because it's their end step, so they can't activate it. So, and then we draw a creature we can cast. Not only that, but it's a lord. So I'm getting hopeful here. It's one of those, like, my hopes are just going to get crushed right here. So we go ahead and play creature into Imodane, and barring interaction from them, this is lethal, because any two of our creatures will kill them right here. So I'm almost daring not to hope that this will work. Like, they've had so many, infinite bone crushers already, and a lot of card advantage. So opponents lining up the blocks, and I'm just like, all right, what's gonna happen? And the damage goes through, and we win. So that was a miracle win right there. So, but we take those every time. This hand, once again, we would love a 1-drop, but it seems really good otherwise. So Temple from the opponent. Cavern will be pretty nice. Just gonna go ahead and play the tap land, get that out of the way. And the Cavern will let us play whatever 2-drop we feel like. Okay, opponent passes. Now there's the 1-drop right in time, of course. Right when it's not gonna be quite as good. So we'll play Worthy Knight. And opponent pitches Magma Opus. Now, there's a new deck in Explorer, which you're about to see right now. Geological Appraiser on turn 3. It's a 1-card combo because the deck is constructed to hit an Eldritch Evolution or a 3-mana clone and keep free casting stuff until they eventually work their way up to a haste enabler. So I don't let the whole thing play out in this Knights game, but you could see I've inlaid a different game where I let the whole thing play out. And so they hit Eldritch Evolutions, which they can upgrade to Trumpeting Carnosaurs, which also discover. And once they've got enough power on the board, they could sacrifice any one of their creatures to an Eldritch Evolution to pull out Doomscarred Titan, an uncommon from Kaldheim that can give their creatures +1/+0 and haste until end of turn. And so you could see it sort of playing out to completion here as we start the next game. And so there's the Doomscarred Titan, and that example they attack for lethal right there. So if you can't interact with the Appraiser, then you just lose. And guess what we're playing in this game as well. So yeah, back-to-back games we lost on turn 2. So we've only played 2 turns and the game's over. It's pretty rough. It's extremely hostile for these sort of no interaction creature tribal decks I like to play sometimes, because if they have it, they just win and we can't do anything. And you could see their whole deck is sort of designed to do that, and we pack it in. I just love aggressive decks, like just slamming with 1-drops backed by lords is just a classic strategy and a proven strategy in Magic. However, from those last couple games, you could see that the meta might be a little hostile for these kind of strategies with no interaction, because there's turn 3 combo decks running around. So we might have to table this one for a bit and see if anything gets banned from that one or adapt it somehow. But it's just too bad right when we get Cavern of Souls to be facing that kind of stuff when we can't jam our fun little tribal decks. That being said, the deck did feel pretty strong and really punishing for a lot of other strategies. There are some things I'm not quite certain about. You saw the little tension we had between Benalish Marshal and Den of the Bugbear. I do like Benalish Marshal a lot, but possibly we should play even more to get more Lord effects, but it really just locks us out of utility lands. Let's say we were to switch that for something like Acclaimed Contender. That could help us throw in a bunch of Mutavaults to help battle like control strategies and stuff like that. I really wanted to play Embercleave in this deck. I feel like it just fits really well, except I think double red with all of our like creature only lands is a big ass. Tournament Grounds could help a little bit, but I think it's gonna be rotten in our hand most of the time, unfortunately. Collective Company is one I always consider for these kind of decks, but I don't know, it warps our colors quite a lot, and once again, so many lands are creature only. And we could get even more wild on the kind of knights we cast. We can try and go for like Smitten Swordmaster. So there's different directions to take it. I'm really interested in like the Acclaimed Contenders plus Mutavaults plan. That might be even stronger than what we have here. But yeah, let me know in the comments, what are your favorite knight cards? And have you fought the Appraiser decks lately? And have you had any success against them? Anyways, thank you for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day.